What is going on, guys? My name is Jared Myers, and today's interview is about to be amazing, guys. So I actually uploaded this video about a year ago on my main YouTube channel, but sadly that channel got terminated and it's not on YouTube no more. So I decided to re-upload it. So that's why if you're watching this, you're like, why are these questions like really out of date? It's because it was from a year ago, but I super love this. I love this interview so much, so I wanted to share with you guys. And I'm also going into broadcasting school to become like an interviewer and a broadcaster. So I want to get as much content out there before I even go and then venture into that world. So expect a bunch of like wrestler interviews and YouTuber interviews and all that good stuff. So yeah, make sure to slap a like on this video, subscribe, turn on post notifications, help me get back to 7,000 subscribers, and also go subscribe to Christian Maracle. So yeah, without further ado, let's hop right into it. And later this week, you will see a botch guy interview. So that's gonna be really cool. And hopefully we get a Sean's View entertainment interview and a bunch of all that other stuff. We got a massive interview, guys, today. It's going to be absolutely exciting. Today we got a guy, he has over 106,000 subscribers, over that one up. Over 42 million views, and has taken the wrestling community by storm with creating one of the most popular and polarizing WWE series on YouTube with the WWE Sins videos, and he has been bringing laughter and comedy into people's life, everyday life. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Christian Maracle.
Thank you for having me, Jared. That was a wonderful introduction, and most people would get sinned for messing it up, but I'll give you a pass because, well, I know you're kind of nervous about this, but it's okay. It's okay. It's all good, though.
Thank you.
I want to say thank you for having me on here, and I look forward to answering your questions.
Thank you. I thank you, too, for having you on today. And so, with the whole YouTube and talking about doing this YouTube interview, I have a quick question. So, to start it off, I was wondering, how did you start, like, creating the WWE Sins, and what was like the process behind like making the Sins videos?
Well, when it came to the inspiration to make the Sins videos, the first thing that came to mind was the first time I discovered Cinema Sins, the originators of the Sins concept. They created their channel back in 2012. They do everything wrong with movie stuff. They're the most popular Sins channel still to this day, with over 80 million subscribers, I believe. And one day I was like searching a movie clip for Paranormal Activity because I was making a horror film, like an independent horror film for my school, and I stumbled upon this video. It was called Everything Wrong with Paranormal Activity, and I clicked on it and I was like, okay, this seems a little weird. It looks like somebody's critiquing it. And I watched the whole thing because I'm a big fan of the Paranormal Activity franchise, and I just laughed at the whole thing, and I just watched another video and another, and I just became a huge fan. Now, as for how I decided to create the WWE Sins, it all started when, it's actually, the WWE stuff came a little later, but the first thing I ever did, first ever episode on my channel was for Star Wars, The Phantom Menace. It was horrible because it was just a fan-made as a tribute over to Cinema Sins. I was like, hey, Cinema Sins hasn't done Star Wars yet, and people have been asking for like 3 years, so I'll do this right here, see what I got here on that, so.
Did you expect it, when you first made that first video, did you expect it to like blow up to like where you are now?
No, the only reason it blew up was because people were either calling me a fake, calling me a ripoff, or pretty much saying, well, at least somebody has done it.
Oh, geez.
But I decided to continue doing another one. Then I decided to just try maybe movies I think Cinema Sins either has not done or probably won't do ever. Some of them were true, some of them are not. But then I decided to myself, I don't want to just keep doing this because that's what Cinema Sins does. And I looked online, realized nobody did one on wrestling, and I wanted to talk about, at the time, Royal Rumble 2015 had passed, and I'm not sure, did you see that one, the 2015 Rumble?
Oh yeah, isn't that like your most popular one?
Well, I think the 2016 was, but that one got blocked. But I think now, by default, this one is the most popular WWE Sins. However, at the time, it's still called to this day one of the worst Royal Rumbles in history because of the whole thing with Daniel Bryan and Roman Reigns.
Oh yeah.
But I wanted to go ahead and post this Sins video on that. It wasn't that well received. It was like, a mixed reception because at the time I was still learning on how to even do this. And even I admit it was just not that good. But as the years went on, I just started like getting a little better at doing it. It didn't blow up at first. It wasn't until like almost a year later when the 2016 Rumble was coming in, and all of a sudden I just saw all these views coming in on the 2015 Royal Rumble video, and people were telling me to make another one.
Oh, wow.
And so I made another one, and poof, from that point on, I grew following and realized I have a shot at this, and I made myself an expanded franchise of the Sins concept by becoming the Wrestling Center.
Oh yeah, you definitely have. For sure.
That's pretty much how I got that.
So when you make these Sin videos, like I'm pretty sure a lot of people are actually curious about this. So so you became like this YouTuber that like now like when me and my friends watch wrestling, we'll be like, oh, that copyright infringement. Like so many people are now like, you just become like a household thing where everybody's like, oh, that's a sin right there. So like when you watch wrestling, because you sin every pay-per-view, do you first watch the pay-per-view and enjoy it and then go back and watch the whole pay-per-view again and sin it, or do you like just watch and enjoy it? If something stands out, write that down, remember that, and then still go back anyways to go over? Like how does the process of sins, because like that's like a 4-hour show, you watch it and you enjoy it and then you go back over it? Like how does that work? How do you do that? Like the behind the scenes process of finding every single sin that you do?
Well, as you were right on the first part, I do watch just as a fan, the first time I'm viewing it, and then the second time, when I go into the Sins mode, as I quote it, that's when I had to rewatch it, because sometimes I may have a couple ideas, but I don't write it down, because, of course, if I did, I'd be going in like Chris Jericho with a list saying, oh, that's a sin, make it.
You just made the list!
But no, I believe the process works as I watch the event again. I have my documents ready to go. I write scripts. Like I make sure that pretty much every sin you've ever seen, whether the subtitles, it's all scripted. It's all written down. A lot of them actually were not the original thing I wrote down, because there's been a lot of times, even just like in like the movie industry, where somebody writes a scene down, it doesn't make the final cut. In this case, I write a sin down, and it just doesn't make the final cut. As I'm in editing, post-production, I'm like, this could either be tweaked a little better, or this one just doesn't seem like it's good enough. So I either change the line a little bit and then re-record my voiceover for that, or I just simply take it out entirely because I didn't think it was good enough.
Oh, wow.
So it's like, not everything you see is what was originally in there. Some of them were. A lot of them are in the original script, like, the famous phrases, as you say, copyright infringement.
Yeah, copyright infringement. Or not my Mountain Dew.
Just so, Mountain Dew, out my hands, and the like. Pretty much, those are famous catchphrases that it all started off as just, I wanted to say something weird, funny, and something people would think was just full of cringe.
Yeah.
But people actually liked it. The most popular one, I believe, was Hulu.
Oh yeah, who gives a shit? Yeah. Wait, out of curiosity, have you ever thought about like capitalizing on how popular those are and make merch out of it? Like copyright infringement, like make a really cool design of copyright infringement, and then like, because you have a good following base, like I think a lot of people would like think that'd be super cool. Like have you ever thought of that, like making your like very popular catchphrases into like merch designs?
Yeah, there's I've actually thought about making merchandise creations, because everybody pretty much. First of all, I want to ask you a question, which is, how long have you been a fan of my channel?
I've been watching you. Well, speaking of the Royal Rumble 15, it just popped up in my suggestions. I watched it. I absolutely loved it. Shared it with my friends. So I've been watching you since like I would say 2016. I would believe. Around 2016, and then I just watch every single sin. Like it's just a thing that me and my friends do. Every time there's a new sin video, we watch it. I've been watching it for a long time now.
Well, that's amazing. All right, good. Then you might know that my most popular merch I've ever created was the Think Optimistically hat.
Oh yes, I know about that one. Yeah.
I've been trying to find a way to get more of those produced, because people want to have one of their own, and I don't blame them. I mean, it looks great and fantastic, but for other types of merchandise, I have been actually considering making stuff like whether it's like shirts, hats, gloves. Well, actually, I was thinking I do have a merch idea. I would have a pair of gloves, and on the gloves, on the palms of the hands, it says "Ow, my hands."
Oh, that's actually pretty good. That's funny. Like the AJ gloves?
I think myself, if I was going to make one on that, it would probably be on the gloves because it makes sense.
Oh, yeah.
If I made a Hulu one, it'd probably be like the Hulu logo, but it's crossed out or something.
Oh, yeah, that would be...
I retired that sin like last year, and coincidentally around the same time, the WWE stopped using it as well.
And maybe they listened to you. Maybe they're like, no one cares about Hulu, and then they send it out of their stocking.
Well, to be fair, I don't actually have a problem with Hulu. It's just a running joke.
Oh yeah. So
pretty much almost any time I have a problem with something on the Sins videos, some people, of course, they take it as it's my real opinion. But most of the time, I've said several times, oh, no. A majority of the time, it's just like a character's perspective. It's for fun and entertainment. A lot of it is just scripted opinions for comedic purposes. A lot of people don't get it, but it's okay. I mean, eventually they catch on. Sometimes they just need a little reminder. It's okay.
I feel like a lot of people, like, who aren't super, like, knowing the YouTube world, I think they don't understand that a lot of YouTubers do have YouTube personalities, and the things they say, they do, doesn't reflect them as a real person. So like you might do something on YouTube or say something in like a character mode, and people be like, oh, they're like this or they're like that, but like in reality it's a YouTube online persona, and real life and YouTube personalities are definitely two different things, you know? Like in your Sin videos, you don't actually judge every single thing you see on, like, you're a real fan, and it's a character that's entertaining and people really enjoy it and love it. And sometimes even with my videos, sometimes people like think I like in my reactions, I react to WWE, so I definitely like give like over the top reactions, and people are like, you're weird when it comes to wrestling. But like I first of all, I am a mark when it comes to wrestling. Like I freak out, but I definitely overtop it because I want to also be entertaining. So sometimes it's like I can understand from your point of view too, like people like might critique you and be like, why are you so judgmental on wrestling? But like sometimes I personally wish people would understand the difference between an online personality and real life. Like on YouTube, you always have to be you, but turned up, because no one's gonna watch. Like if you don't, you gotta be entertaining, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes I feel like sometimes that can get frustrating. I don't know about you, when people don't understand, you know?
Well, it can get frustrating, but I just come to accept that, you know, it is what it is at times, because not everybody is going to just like take a look at something and automatically assume it's a character's perspective. They're going to take a look at it and think, oh, this is the guy's real opinions, because you can look at a lot of other YouTubers in the wrestling world. A lot of them are talking in their real life personas rather than a character's perspective. But there are a number of YouTubers who sometimes it can be a little confusing. But I pretty much have blatantly told my fans not to worry. Like, if you want to see my real life opinions on wrestling, I have a Losers Lounge podcast, and a lot of times I attend wrestling shows, I vlog the reactions, so you actually see me react one way, but then on the Sins videos you see me react another way. And sometimes some are either confused, saying, oh, did you change your mind halfway through? And then I'm like, no. What you saw on the vlog is what I still actually think, and what you see on the video is just the entertainment part. So that's basically my character in the Sins videos is supposed to be this arrogant asshole who's like just critiquing everything, nitpicking everything, even though nitpicking is the name of the game. Just go ahead and ask Cinema Sins. They're the ones who created the Sins concept. It's just a formula. You gotta follow it.
So when like creating YouTube videos, you do your most of your Sin videos, they get a lot of views. Do you ever does it ever affect you when you put a lot of work into a video and you don't see the views that you are hoping or striving for, or a video doesn't get a lot of views? I know, like, for me personally, it definitely affects like me mentally. Sometimes like I'll post a video, right? I'll do a reaction on Bray Wyatt's entrance, 11,000 views, and like it's super cool, and then you post your next video and it might get like 700 views or something like that, like just lower from your last one, and you expect the next one to be like, you want it to be as big, but then you start mentally thinking like, oh, why is this, like, does that ever happen to you? And like, if you do, like, how do you like work through it? Like, if that ever does like affect you, like, does low views ever affect you, or does it like not affect you?
Oh, it did at first. Let's actually rewind back to 2016. At the peak of my run on YouTube, anytime I posted WWE Sins, its average was 150,000 views. As time went on, a lot of crazy situations happened, and nowadays, of course, the average amount I get is 25,000 to 30,000. It's a massive drop from before. It got pretty frustrating before, but this is mainly because YouTube has these new laws they've been putting in.
Oh yeah.
Which has been a lot of subscribers to not even see. Even if I am getting more subscribers, the view count has not been rising as much. So that's why I realized, of course, a lot of my people are subscribing, but most of them, they're not even getting notifications from a channel, which can be frustrating, yes, because most of the time it's not under my control. It's not my fault. It is frustrating, yes. And of course, there's, the most popular thing I do is the Sins videos. Yes, that's what everybody knows me for. My Instagram is literally labeled the WWE Sins guy. But despite that, my channel name is my actual name, Christian Maracle, and well, in some ways, that's not entirely my actual name, but we're not going to talk about that. But what I will say is the reason it's called Christian Maracle is because Christian Maracle isn't just one thing. He's a variety. I do a variety of things, not just the Sins videos. As people see, I do podcasts, I do vlogs, I've done YTPs. I've done other types of contents, top 10s.
Something that you do recently that I really enjoy, and I want to see you keep doing this a lot more, is explaining things, like, with the war games, like when you, like, I thought they should do that too, where the main roster invades it, or you said how the Bray Wyatt loss isn't actually as bad as you think. I think that series is something you should actually keep doing, because I actually really like that, like, fantasy booking it. I think that could be another thing that could like pop off for you too, like with the Sins. Do you like that series a lot?
Well, yes, of course. The explained videos, it all started, of course, with the controversial ending when the Fiend and Seth Rollins Hell in a Cell match ended by referee stoppage. And everybody was pissed off about it because, they felt they were ripped off, even despite the fact the Fiend stood on top of the end. However, I haven't been a huge horror film fan for over a decade. I know exactly how the horror genre works. And so I connected the dots on this. I'm like, okay, I see it now. This is why. And letting people know, like, the Fiend, for one thing, was not made to look weak because, yes, the Fiend was taking all those curb stomps, but it was not affected by a single one of them. He was still kicking out at one. And I said that he was intentionally staying down because he was mentally crushing Seth Rollins, and you could literally see it, and even the referee could see it.
Yeah.
And that's why the ref ended the way it did. That's why, I even said, it still can be frustrating, and in some ways it still is BS that it ended that way.
Oh yeah.
But it makes sense that it ended. Most people were just upset that there was no winner. My response was, at least this one, even frustrating wise, it made sense. But then, of course, I decided I like talking this way because it allows some fans to actually see it from a different perspective, and they're like, oh, okay, I get it now. Others, of course, they were like, no, I still don't believe a single word you just said. But that's okay though, because I like doing the explained videos. It's more of like I'm not criticizing people for like saying that this was BS or that was BS. I do it because I think this is why this is the case. And even I admit sometimes I could be wrong. Example, like I said, the main roster potentially invading the War Games. I said it should happen. It did not happen. People were saying I was wrong. Like, I was not wrong. If I was wrong, I would have said that's exactly what's going to happen. And I never once said that because what I'm putting in the explained videos is a possibility, not reality.
Yeah.
It could be a reality, but that's just if the trigger was pulled. And even if it's not pulled, even I'm like, okay, it didn't work the way I thought it was going to go, but that's okay. That's the type of guy I am. If something doesn't go the way I hoped it would, I just get over it.
So, moving on. So this is I'm curious on your opinion. I ask a lot of people this because I personally would like to see this, but I don't know how it would work out. So from someone, like from your opinion, so you might not like the two individuals, but I'm just curious from your side of like just this genre, because me and you are both YouTubers. So you know how Logan Paul and KSI, they just had this massive rematch. They brought in so many subscribers to the Zone. I think it was over millions of new subscribers to the Zone app. So do you think, because people always complain WWE ratings are down. So do you think if the WWE brought in like a Logan Paul or a KSI or someone like that, and they had them on an episode of Raw, would that help boost up ratings? Because they do bring in celebrities, but if they went after like our air, like the YouTubers that like definitely do draw, because we've seen them draw with the Zone. Like imagine if you had like Logan Paul in a tag team match, right, at SummerSlam. Do you think if the Zone's subscriptions can increase that much, could WWE Network subscriptions increase that much? Because they brought Tyson Fury, but like a lot of people don't really know Tyson Fury. But if you brought someone like a Logan Paul or KSI, they're such a mainstream for our generation, I would say, rather than, do you get what I'm trying to say? Do you think if they went after like more YouTuber celebrities, do you think that could help boost ratings better than a Tyson Fury or a Cain Velasquez? Because yes, they do have mainstream, but like I feel like WWE is definitely like more of a teenager, our age type of thing. Like, do you get what I'm trying to say? Like YouTube, we watch YouTubers bring in a lot of views, and they have proven with the Zone app. Do you think that could benefit WWE? Would you want to see that either?
Well,
if you get what I'm trying to say.
I know what you're trying to say. It's understandable. As everybody knows, I'm not the biggest follower of the boxing matches going on with KSI, Logan Paul. The only thing I really know was that they faced each other, and that KSI won the previous fight that just took place.
Yeah.
However, you do have a good point on that, on the ratings wise. However, I don't think it would really help the WWE that much, because it would just make it look like they are desperately scrambling to get, quote, relevant again. I'm not saying they're irrelevant, but I think that if they went ahead, if they stooped to the point where they just had to bring in YouTube celebrity boxers to probably their next, you said SummerSlam, I'm thinking probably next Saudi Arabia show or something like that.
Yeah.
Them a lot of money for that. Perhaps more subscriptions will come in, but at the same time, not really, because we know neither KSI nor Logan Paul would probably ever sign a deal, like a full-time deal with the WWE, because they're doing so much. I'm not a fan of either one of them, but I know that basically, based on their popularity, they're doing great on their own. So I don't think they would take that all away just to give the WWE some boosted up ratings. And I really think that it probably would be a really bad move if they did. Perhaps some subscriptions will come in, but eventually they'd probably go back down when those two just don't end up showing up again. They're in for a good bit. Yeah, there you go. Yay, they're here. They probably have a match, a tag match, as a quarter, or maybe a singles match against each other or something. And then, of course, all that would just be over after that, and ratings back down. So I do get what you're saying, though.
Mm-hmm. All right, and then so we're getting close to the end of it. So for like other striving wrestling content creators, what would your advice be for them to grow? Like I know my best friend Patrick, he does YouTube videos and stuff. Like he'll do reactions here and there. Like what would your advice be for like other smaller channels that want to grow in like a wrestling community? Like because you've grown real big. What would your advice be for that?
Well, the one thing you should really do when it comes to doing this is the reason I make the YouTube content myself is not just because I got a good following. It's fun. I do the Sins videos because they're really fun. I do storylines. I create characters because I have a good time doing it. I have a natural talent for being entertaining. I used to do a lot of crazy things back when in my early days growing up. I was an entertainer in school. I was an entertainer at home with family, and people were like, I have a natural talent for this. The basic thing you want to do is if you want to get somewhere, making content is easy, but it's the only thing you can really do is hope, have faith that you can get a big following. I wouldn't consider, most would, but I don't consider myself to be like a YouTube celebrity, even if I made it on that famous birthdays website. But I really think that I got to where I am because I have a passion for what I do. I like making video content. I like inspiring people to think that they can get on YouTube, or any type of video sharing platform, or pretty much whatever they like to do. I give the people the feeling that they can just get up, they can go ahead, and they can do it because it really means something to them. The one thing, so that's my advice, is you should do it because it means something to you, not just because it means something to the people. Because it's great that, you make others happy. That's what I like to do. I've been doing that for years. That's hence my catchphrase, think optimistically, and the inspiration I've given people. I'm just saying that you should always do it because you want to do it, not just because they want you to do it. Because putting it both together, that's what really allows the machine to work. If one of them is broken, like, the fans want you to do something, but then you don't want to do it, sometimes you can be in a rut, and I've been there many times. It can be tough. However, it's all you have to do is you can reach out for help, talk to friends, talk to family. Sometimes all you just need is somebody to tell you it's going to be okay. You do what you feel is right, and that's what I do. So that's why I am where I am. So that's my advice. Do it because it means something to you, and it means something to your peers.
What does your family think of like your success on YouTube? Because that must be like really cool. Like, are they proud of you? Are they like what's their 106,000 subscribers, over 42 million views? Like that are they like super proud of you? Like, what are their thoughts on it?
Well, I know for a fact my family was going to be proud of me regardless of how big. They'd be proud of me if I had only just like a couple of subscribers and 100 total views. But they're really impressed. They were impressed that I managed to gain the following that I did, and they were very happy for me that I found something that I was able to do, because I don't often talk about this much, but I'm a guy who has autism. I've suffered from several mental disorders, which in the past has caused me to lose jobs because I haven't been able to keep my focus, all because of these mental disorders. Making video content, however, making entertainment, has not been interfering with my mental illnesses have not been interfering with it, and it's made me happy with what I do. And my family was thankful that I managed to find something that really helped me out. And they are very proud of me indeed, and I've been through a lot over the last number of years, but it's the support of my friends and my family, my closest family, closest friends, my fans, of course. Most people, when it comes to those who have big followings, they don't look at all those comments because there's like as they quote too much and probably take too long. Me, I read all the comments because it means something to me, even if it's a hater spewing insults at me. It still makes me feel happy because I know for a fact that I make people happy, and even if there's a hater going about, I know they just want attention. And that's just life. You just accept there's people like that out there. So nobody's perfect. I'm not perfect. None of us are. But everybody has a special talent, and you should use it if it means something to you. And that's what I've done, and that's why I am where I'm at.
No, I think it's super cool that you do speak about like your mental health with autism, because I even have it, and it definitely, when you see someone that like you look up to as a content creator, and you see that they have something that you have too, and they look at what they're doing, they're achieving this, and they have it too. It definitely gives people who also have that like that positivity, like if he can do it, I know I can. Like, because you know how like some people might be like, oh, you can't work that job or because of this and that, but when you see someone that you look up to and they're doing what you want to do too, it definitely like motivates people and encourages them. And so I think it's really cool that you do like you say that you have it, because I know you probably have a lot of fans, and even me, that have it, and we just look at it, and it definitely inspires us too, because if we see what you have achieved and how positive you are, and like how much your content inspires other people, it's just really cool to see you like talking about it. Like you should never be like afraid to talk about it, because I know there's so many people who also have it, and just having someone that you watch and you look up to talk about theirs too, it definitely inspires and make other people like know that it will always be okay. So I think it's really cool of you to talk about that.
Yeah, that reminds me of another thing. Like those videos I do, I've done depression update videos in the past.
Yeah.
That's about my battle with depression. I talked about dealing with other things. As everybody knows, pretty much anything that's not a Sins video, they don't get as much views. And there have been many times where people have asked me, these things, they don't get many views. Why do you even do it?
Because it's real.
My response to it is because, like, if there's even one person who's remotely interested in listening to me talk about this, then I'll do it, because my goal is to help people, no matter how many or how little.
Mm-hmm.
Because I want to make sure that I inspire people to feel better about themselves. Like, there's a lot of people out there who's been bullied, been dealing with mental problems, dealing with so many problems in life, and it sucks that this happens as a thing with life, but to know that there's somebody out there who has gone through a lot of that stuff and is willing to talk about it, to open up, should really help people realize that they're not alone in this. And yes, I don't get a lot of views on that, but the thing is, I don't do this all just for views. I do it because I want to, because it means something to me. So no matter how many or how little amount of views it gets, I still do it because it means something to me very much.
And even if it gets little views, you always got to remember those little views that watch even those videos are your real fans, the real supporters that will watch anything you post.
Well, I'm not. I wouldn't say real fans, because that's pretty much saying to anybody that doesn't watch anything but the Sins videos, they are fake fans. But I don't consider them real or fake or anything like that. I mean, people are supporters of one thing, and others can be supporters of the other thing. But everybody is a fan of something, and I understand if people are telling me to just do the Sins videos. I mean, it can get frustrating, but the thing is, the sad thing I gotta say is, if anybody is just gonna tell me to do the Sins videos and nothing else, the answer is simply no.
Are you gonna keep making Sin videos? Because I remember you've talked about quitting that. Are you gonna quit that, or like what's the future going into 2020 gonna be with your channel?
Well, the 500 Sins video is coming. As people know, my brother, Longneck Josh, was killed by my dark side. So yeah, that's been now I've been given an ultimatum. If I end the Sins videos, he stays dead. But if I continue it and risk my chance of hopefully getting freedom, I can have him back. But that's currently where I'm at right now. I'm at a tough spot where my darkness has clouded my vision, and now I'm in a place where I got to figure out what I'm going to do. How can I possibly do this? This is about me trying to find my freedom mentally, rather than trying to figure out what to do physically. Mm-hmm. No. So, as of right now, the future is unknown, but the 500 Sins video is coming up very soon, so eventually I'm going to have to say something. So, stay tuned in 2020, and hopefully we can get through this together.
Well, whatever happens, 2020 is going to be an exciting year, and the future is unknown, and who knows what's going to happen.
That's exactly how it goes. And in my opinion, an unknown future is an exciting future.
Oh, yeah. The surprise of what will happen. knows. But Christian, I want to thank you so much for joining the interview and allowing me to interview you and taking the time out of your day. It definitely means a lot to me, and hopefully you enjoyed it. And I definitely enjoyed it. And if there's anything else you want to say.
Well, basically, guys, any of my fans who I've linked this video to on my social media, go ahead and subscribe here to, your name's Jared, right?
Oh, yeah, Jared, yeah. Well, my YouTube channel is Jared0WWE, but I'm slowly trying to go to just my name because I started YouTube back in 2009. So, like, back in YouTube way back in the day, you know, usernames used to be, like, Xbox gamer tags, but now we're getting into an era where it's, like, you gotta have your name, you know. But, yeah, so I'm slowly transferring to more of my name, but Jared0WWE or Jared Myers, whichever floats people's boats.
Go ahead. Well, go ahead, guys. If any of my fans are listening to this, go ahead and give this guy a subscribe, throw some likes down there, and keep giving this guy some support too, because he does really good. But most importantly, like if you have a passion for something, you should follow it. Like, you know, people have passion for things that they want to do. Don't be afraid if people are going to be criticizing you about it, because if they do, that just motivates you to actually either prove them wrong or just improve on yourself, and you can do it no matter what. So yeah, but most importantly, throughout everything you do, no matter what, a bad situation, a good situation, always remember the famous 2 words, and that is to think optimistically.
Hey. Thank you, my man, and I will see you guys later. Peace.